James Pickens Jr., the legendary actor who has played Dr. Richard Webber on Grey's Anatomy since the very first episode back in 2005, has shared a deeply personal and emotional revelation. He has been diagnosed with prostate cancer. And what makes this moment even more haunting is how closely it mirrors the storyline of his on-screen character, who, in the latest season of the show, also faces a life-changing cancer diagnosis. For fans who have followed him for 2 decades, the collision of fiction and reality feels almost surreal, like life echoing the very scripts he's performed for years. The news came after Pickens, now 73, went through his routine annual exam earlier this year. He's been monitoring his PSA levels, prostate-specific antigen, since he was 41, long before most men even consider testing. And he had a reason. Prostate cancer runs heavily in his family. His father battled it, several of his uncles were diagnosed, and even a first cousin who is now in his 90s has lived through it. Pickens has spoken openly about the anxiety that comes with that kind of family history, saying that in many ways, he always expected this day might come. It wasn't fear, he explained, but an awareness, a long shadow he knew he had to monitor. During his most recent checkup, his PSA numbers jumped. That led to an MRI, which showed what doctors described as something suspicious. From there, he underwent a biopsy, and the results confirmed the presence of a tumor. A PET scan followed, which thankfully showed the cancer had not spread beyond the prostate. In the world of cancer diagnoses, that single detail is everything. It meant it was caught early. It meant treatment options were promising, and it meant that he could move quickly and decisively. James Pickens Jr. chose to undergo a robotic radical prostatectomy, a surgery to remove the prostate before the cancer had the chance to grow or spread. In his words, catching it early was a blessing, and he didn't hesitate to move forward. For a man who has spent decades playing a doctor on television, he now found himself placing his life in the hands of the real ones. But here's where the story becomes almost poetic. Just days before Pickens revealed his diagnosis, Grey's Anatomy aired a mid-season episode where Dr. Richard Webber learns that he, too, has cancer. Fans watching the episode had no idea that the actor behind the character was quietly living the same experience. The emotional depth of the scenes, the vulnerability, the fear, the weight of mortality, it all hit differently once the truth came out. It wasn't just a storyline. It was a reflection of reality, performed by a man who, off-camera, had just confronted the same fate. For longtime viewers, Richard Webber has always been the backbone of Grey's Anatomy, the mentor, the leader, the voice of calm in chaos. And now suddenly, both the fictional and the real Pickens were facing the same medical crossroads. Fans flooded the internet with messages of support, saying how much they admired him, how much strength he gave them through the years, and how surreal it felt to know the character and actor were intertwined in such a personal way. James Pickens Jr. isn't sharing his diagnosis for sympathy. He's sharing it because he wants men, especially Black men, to wake up to the realities of prostate cancer. He emphasized that 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, but the rate is even higher among Black men, who statistically face greater risks and often more aggressive cases. And it's not just genetics. Pickens has spoken openly about the long-standing distrust many Black men feel towards the medical system, a distrust rooted in generations of real, painful history. Because of that, screenings are often avoided, delayed, or dismissed. Pickens wants to change that. He insists that early detection is everything. Prostate cancer can grow quietly, silently, without symptoms, until it becomes far more dangerous. His story is proof that screenings save lives. By detecting the cancer early, he was able to take action quickly, undergo surgery, and significantly improve his chances of long-term recovery. Since his surgery, Pickens has shared that he is grateful, relieved, and recovering well. He even posted a message to fans saying he feels blessed to be cancer-free and urging men everywhere to get checked. And his voice carries weight, not just because he's a beloved TV icon, but because he is using his personal experience to spark a larger conversation. His revelation prompted health organizations, doctors, and advocates to push the message even harder. Screenings matter, family history matters, and awareness can save lives. As for Grey's Anatomy, the timing of the storyline and his real diagnosis adds a new emotional layer to the show's long legacy. Richard Webber has always been a symbol of resilience, wisdom, and strength, and now the man behind that character is showing those same qualities in his real life. Fans who grew up with the show feel a deep emotional connection to him, not just as an actor, but as a guiding presence who's been with them through breakups, losses, milestones, and life changes over nearly 20 years. James Pickens Jr. has portrayed heartbreak, joy, addiction, redemption, and loss on screen. But now he's adding something even more powerful to his legacy, the courage to speak openly about a health battle that so many men face quietly. And in doing that, he might help save lives. Over the decades, he has built a career defined by longevity, depth, and genuine impact. From the earliest days of Grey's Anatomy, he stood out as one of the central pillars of the show. The one constant through chaos, cast changes, dramatic twists, and heartbreaking moments. Now, in real life, he finds himself stepping into an entirely different role: an advocate, a survivor, and a reminder that vulnerability and strength can coexist. His revelation has also sparked wider conversations about men's health in Hollywood, with celebrities and public figures praising him for being open about something so personal. Many men admitted publicly that they booked screenings because of him. Others said his honesty encouraged them to talk to their families about their own health history. That ripple effect is exactly what Pickens had hoped for. As he continues to recover, he's focusing on gratitude for early detection, gratitude for modern medicine, gratitude for support from fans, and gratitude for the chance to use his voice for something bigger than entertainment. And even though the diagnosis was undoubtedly terrifying, Pickens says he feels empowered knowing that he took control of his health and is turning his experience into a message of hope and action. For his fans, the emotional connection is undeniable. They've watched him for almost 20 years, seen him guide generations of Grey Sloan doctors, and learned countless life lessons through his character. Now they're supporting him as he writes a new chapter in his own life, one that's real, raw, and deeply human. And as James Pickens Jr. steps forward to advocate for prostate cancer awareness, his story becomes bigger than TV, bigger than Hollywood, and bigger than celebrity gossip. It becomes a wake-up call, a reminder, a push to take health seriously, a symbol of resilience, and ultimately, a testament to the power of speaking out. James Pickens Jr. isn't just revealing a diagnosis, he's spreading a message. He wants men, especially those with family history or in higher risk communities, to take action now, not later. He wants early screenings to become normal, not avoided. And he wants people to understand that cancer doesn't discriminate. It can touch anyone, even the strongest, even the icons, even the people who seem invincible on screen. His journey is far from over, but his courage, honesty, and advocacy are already making an impact. And just like the character he's portrayed for nearly 20 years, he continues to lead, not from a hospital set, but from real life, where the stakes are higher and the message is louder.